Hi, it's Melissa here, and this is the final layout that I made with my June hip kit. At this point, just before I decided to make this layout, I thought that I was done. I thought that I'd killed my kit, and I was going to probably recycle most of those bits of scraps that you see there. But then I had a good look at them, and I thought, I've still got a couple of tags that I love, and I'm going to push myself and see if I can make one more layout. So usually when I get to this point, I call upon my A4 paper cardstock, or as most of you would know it as 8.5 by 11. A4 is, I think, a little bit shy of 8.5 by 11, but I find that an A4 layout works really well when you have limited supplies and when the photo is smaller, or it isn't, when it's more a journaling layout than a photo layout. I mean, I journal on all my layouts, but some of them definitely have less than others, and in some of them the photo really does tell the story. So for this one, it's my youngest, and she was 8 weeks old at this time, and I had to take her into town, which is about 15-20 minutes away, for a hip scan. Now, when we live in a very isolated part of New Zealand, and I know Queenstown is known as the adventure capital of the world, but it's actually 2 hours from, or probably over 2 hours from base hospital. So we had to travel to Invercargill to have her. And normally they would check the baby's hips before they discharge, but for some strange reason they didn't. So we had to have a scan. And so I took this photo on my iPhone, and Brielle had slept through the entire process. I took about 4 photos, and they're not amazing photos. They're taken on my phone, and because it's dark, there's no lights in there, obviously, in that room, because it's like an X-ray scanning room. So this is the photo I got, and it tells the story, and I really wanted to get it into her album. So it's been sitting around for quite a long time now, and I knew that I didn't want to scrap it on a 12 by 12, and so this little pile of scraps of my kit was perfect for this photo. So I'm matching it on some Stampin' Up! A4 cardstock, and their cardstock is very smooth, or this white one is anyway. And I like that because it looks like I've printed my photo with a white border. And the reason I'm putting a mat on this one is just to provide some separation, because I know that I'm wanting to use a lot of patterns there, because all I've got left is bits and pieces and strips of paper. So I've done some, I've sprayed some Heidi Swap Colour Shine over a stencil in the background there, and as you'll see, I cover up pretty much all of it, but still part of the process for me is trying to add a bit more because I've only got these scraps. So here I'm playing around with the positioning of my photo, and I don't know if I've already said this before, but I was looking at some layouts the other day, and I noticed that pretty much all of my layouts are very much right dominant in terms of my photo. I place my photo on the right. So this one I've done that again, but because of where I want to use that tag with the floral, that really is the best position. So here I'm wanting to put a couple of strips on the top and bottom of the page, and I'm really restricted now because I've only got 2 pieces of paper that will stretch across. That paper there, that floral, is my favourite paper in the whole kit, and there I'm using that yellow and white stripe, and it's so thin that I have to use my Tombow because my double-sided tape is too fat. So I'm just going to glue that down. And I think in this layout it really needs something to ground, or to provide a boundary where the eye goes, so it doesn't really wander too far off the page, or it doesn't look like this entire cluster in the middle is floating. So now it's just a matter of working out where I want my strips to go, and I'm not overthinking it because I'm in a hurry. I just want to get this one done so I can move on to my next kit. And so often I find that when you don't overthink a layout, you end up with one that you really love. Well, I do anyway. So it's quite good because the photo has only got 3 real dominant colours. There's the blue on the bed where she's lying, and there's the black of the I think it's the trolley that the X-ray or the scan machine is on, and the black of the person's uniform, and then she's just got a cream cardi and a pink top, and then there's just the white plastic cover that they lay her down. So it's good in a way because it means I can add these bits and pieces of patterns and colours and not have to be concerned that they're not going to work with the photo. So here I'm just trimming this one off. It's a bit crooked, so I can't be bothered pulling out the trimmer for such a tiny piece of paper, so I'm just hand trimming it, and like I said before, it's not meant to be perfect. It's just a case of using as many little bits and pieces that I can. And I'm just going to tuck the entire tag behind the photo because I'm not intending on making any more layouts with this kit. So to me, having a bit of tag that's cut off the bottom isn't really beneficial. It's better just to get it on the page. So now I'm deciding to commit to putting my photo down. And as you can see, I have covered up probably most of those polka dots that I put in the background, and when I come in with the second tag, you'll barely see them at all. So now I'm playing around with that little embellishment that I made, and I used one of the frames. I had cut apart, there were two frames, they were one, but they had two openings in them, and they had, I think it was Love You or something between them, and I'd cut that out to use in another layout, so I was left with the two little frames, and so I used my favourite paper, that floral, and I think it was probably the only piece that would fit in there anyway, and I just put the frame over that, and then I put Brielle's initial, which is B for Brielle, obviously, and I put that in there. So that was a good way to make an embellishment because I really don't have much left to play with. So now I am trimming off some of the top of that tag and then putting my twine back in. And I think the reason I did that was because it just didn't look right to me to have such a gap between the hole and the top of the tag. And I also didn't want it to sit at the top in a line with the top of the photo. So I'm happy with the placement of the tag, and I don't even move it, I don't even lift it off. I just lift it up and stick it down. And there I've just tied a bow in that twine, but it just didn't look right, so I've gone back to just the plain old twine and trimmed off the excess. So there you would have seen a few bits and pieces that I've got left, and I'm just at this point trying to get down as much as I can onto this layout because I know it's my last one. That's a doily that I cut with a Couture Creations die on my Cuttlebug, and I've used the other half on another layout, so I was pretty keen to get that used up. Not sure why I've disappeared, but obviously my editing isn't very good on this layout. But I'm back, and I've got those beautiful silver thickers that I only discovered at kind of the end of creating with this kit. And it's great when you've got a small word, like I just want to say hip, with these beautiful thickers, and then I'll be using the LA Studio leather stickers to put scan. And so that's really not an exciting title, but the layout is what it is. It is a hip scan photo, and yeah, to me it just works well. And you know, sometimes you make a layout and you want to use, or you want to create a title that's I don't know, doesn't just tell the story of the photo, but this layout purely is telling the story of the photo. So I've got that down, and I do find that most chipboard thickers do need a bit of extra adhesive. It's not now that you find a problem, it's later on, and I've found that through the years when I look back in my scrapbook, sometimes if I haven't done that, some of the letters will be lying at the bottom of the page protector. So here are the LA Studio stickers, and I love, love, love these stickers. They always do produce such usable and really trendy stickers, and I love the colour of these too, and I love the font. And I love that you get upper and lowercase. So there it is, it just says hip scan. And then I'm coming in with some of those little chevron, I guess they're chevron arrows, and I'm putting them to the left of the H, and then I'll come in again, I think, yes, next to the word scan. I'm just adding a tiny amount of glue to hold them down as well. I didn't use much of the washi tape that came with the kit. I don't know why, but I found it hard. I mean, it definitely goes with the colours and the summer feel of the kit, but I don't know. I think because it was so bold that I struggled a bit. Here I'm doing a whole lot of journaling, and there is the final layout. I added some mist, and I added some tiny punched butterflies, and then I went in and outlined some of the elements. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.